Okay, and welcome to the Buttaheads DraftKings podcast for week 2. I am your host, Kyle Daly, going to run down the DraftKings slate. First, I want to cover a slight update / news item. As you know, we had an unfortunate event happen during last week's broadcast. I just wanted to update you that we have since put up some very nice gates around the house and done some training techniques, and we have not had an accident since that unfortunate incident. So AJ is doing well. He got a bath today. He looks beautiful. Maybe I will include it at the end of the pod, a quick shot of AJ sitting here on his bed. So we're all very proud of AJ. He's doing very well. Now, let's move on to people or things that we're not so proud of. Let's talk about Spencer's team first. All right. Here's the deal, Spencer. This is a good team. I really like this team. I think, I heard the Dak double stacks floated. I was in the know. We'll just say that. I was in the know on it. It worked out beautifully. If you're gonna if you're gonna treat this contest like a tournament, I mean, this is exactly how you do it. It really is pretty perfect how this was put together. I don't know if this is an AI bot or not, but it's a beautifully constructed tournament lineup. Dak 26 points, goes off, only 2 touchdowns but 361 yards. Throws in a few rushing yards there. Javonte Williams, somehow, just because he's on Joe and Andy's team, somehow continues to do well. We'll see if that continues, but for week 2, it did. 25 points. Travis Etienne, 16.9. So really just going with what worked last week. Ended up working this week. CD 23, and then of course Neighbors with the bring back game stack, who goes off because he is the great Malik Neighbors, and of course Pickens for the double stack. Fannin, everybody played at tight end. If you didn't, I don't know what you were doing. Devontae Adams, really like that in the flex too. I mean, if you're in the know as far as who's being talked about, it's a really nice pivot off of Puka Nacua, who was popular in the DFS streets this week. Very nice, thinking outside the box, but not too far outside the box. Still made sense. Significantly cheaper, of course. And then you plug in the Dolphins D. If you are just going to plug in a D, I mean, well, you did. Did you really need to get a fucking defensive touchdown from the Dolphins D? I mean, you fucking won the contest by 44 points or something like that. We didn't need the Dolphins defensive touchdown. We could have done without that, but you somehow also get a Dolphins defensive touchdown. And if you're going to just plug in whoever at a position, make sure that it's defense, folks. So overall, love the lineup. And there's really nothing bad I can say about it. It's pretty perfect, pretty beautiful, and I wish it was me. Let's move on And here's where my frustration begins. Because fucking shit, man. I mean, I should have gotten second. I'm not going to say I should have won this week. Because I wasn't going to win against that lineup that Soenser put out. But I fucking had the second place lineup. It was so beautiful. And I fucking tinkered. I fucking tinkered. So on Wednesday, when I said I put together the greatest lineup that's ever been assembled on DraftKings.com, I had it, and that was, I had Rome and JSN and Mac Jones at quarterback, and I switched it out because I wanted to because I fucking fell for Justin fucking Fields, and I just had to jam Justin fucking Fields in, and his 4 fucking points. And so I switched out Mac Jones, 3 touchdowns, for Justin Fields, 4 points. Did a Galaxy Brain Charlie-esque move, which made sense because Charlie also played him. Charles Tillman at wide receiver, and Chris Olave instead of Rome Odunze. I even still had the money to play Rome. I could have just played Rome straight up. Rome was $100 cheaper than Chris Olave. I could have just played Rome and gotten second. I was sitting there at 11:57 like, what the fuck? Should I play Rome or Olave? I picked Olave, guys, and I'm sorry I let you down. I know you guys like to see me in the money, so I do apologize about that. I ended up getting 6th with 137 points. Let's take a look at the second place team. 149 points, Chase Ryan. Well, that's when you know. When the shitters are hitting lineups like this, I don't know if he's got a guy or what, but Chase is definitely a shitter. And let's see what he put together. Sam Darnold at quarterbacks, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Darnold at quarterback. A beautiful 17.8. When there was Mac Jones out there, nope. Got to squeeze in Sam Darnold for the JSN stack, 21 points. Now JSN, great receiver. Not going to hate on that play. CD and Javonte, basically if you played Cowboys this week, you won money. Chris Olave and his 11 points in this lineup. Squeezed in Trey McBride as well, 13 points. Didn't score as always. Stephon Diggs with a snowflake. And the Cardinals D somehow, well, not somehow, they played Carolina. They did very well. Also got a touchdown, 13 points. Can't hate on the Cardinals D, although I would never pay $3,400 for a defense. Overall, it's a decent lineup. Sam Darnold, you will never see him in one of my DFS lineups. Good as a QB3 in Superflex, though. Joe DeGolf Pro. He's DeGolf Pro. So you know it's real. I thought he got second. I guess Chase came back at the end. I don't know. Similar lineup. Do they have the same guy? That would make sense. They probably do. They both played Kamara and Javonte Williams. But Joe decided to play Dak at quarterback, a much more reasonable play for only 900 more. MHJ at wideout. He did what he does best. 2 receptions for 27 yards. Jamar Chase, can't hate on that. 39.5 points. Enjoy it while you can, folks. because we all know misery is coming for the Bengals. George Pickens, Kincaid. I don't know why you play Kincaid when you got Harold Fannin for 600 less. Just trying to get different, or yeah. I mean, I guess. And Harold Fannin wasn't a must play, but he was about as close. Oh, and he paid up. So the reason that Joe lost to Chase, he paid up $3,500 for the Broncos D against Indianapolis, who absolutely crushed in week 1. I guess Joe wasn't buying it. He found the $3,500 and paid the Broncos D to get him 0.0 points, 1 sack, and 1 28-34 points against. That'll get you an even 0 on the day. So good for Joe for getting third. He is officially the first loser who gets the same amount of money as Dean's Gay right at the bottom. Oh, no, it's not Dean's Gay. We'll talk about you, Dean's Gay, though. JFM right at the bottom. That's who it was. I knew it was one of you fucks. JFM right at the 79 points on DraftKings.com. That is hard to do. Congratulations, JFM. And for those of you that don't know, JFM had recently entered into a binding contract with me earlier in the week, weekly $20 bet. So thank you for that, Venmo. It was promptly sent. I appreciate that. I did have to send the request, which was slightly annoying, but as long as it gets paid, that's fine with me. All right. So we got, Fields. All right. Well, like minds, I guess. We both fell for it. Chase Brown, knew that was bad chalk. Was never considered playing him, but a lot of people did. A third of the league, a third of the contest actually. Swift, I don't know, DeAndre Swift. I mean, I guess I just never playing that guy in DraftKings. I mean, the least reliable player in the NFL, DeAndre Swift. Hollywood Brown, also chalk. It looks like JFM Googled Week 2 NFL DFS plays and just played the first thing that came up, I think is probably what happened here. And then just stuck in Kayshon Boutte as his last guy because, fuck it, that's who fit in, the old Johnny move. So he played Hollywood Brown, 8 points, bad chalk. Everybody who was smart knew that. CD did well, but it was the only player on his team that did well. Kayshon Boutte lucked out to get 8 points. 1 reception for 16 yards happened to be a touchdown. So you are lucky to have scored 79 points, in my opinion, JFM. But as long as it was under 137, I don't really give a fuck what you scored, albeit funny. Derrick Henry, 23 rushing yards. Yeah. I know how you like those boomer running backs, JFM, but it doesn't always work out unless you're Jandy. All right. And in 17th place, it's another person who I received a Venmo from this week. It's our good boy, Chocano. Charlie O'Connor. Come on down. It's a Venmo who's who, folks. And Charlie's the star. Trevor Lawrence, he even lucked out getting 3 touchdown passes for Trevor Lawrence. Probably the first time in his career that he's ever gotten 3 touchdowns. CMC, good play. If you didn't play him, only 38% of the league did. If you didn't play him, you're a fish and are bad. Unless you're Spencer and you had the perfect tournament lineup. Chase Brown, bad chalk. Oh, and here comes the snowstorm. Oh, man. Chase Brown, snowflake. A.J. Brown, snowflake. BTJ, snowflake. So, Charlie was fading week 1. It didn't work out, folks. Kyron Williams, snowflake. Colts D, 1 point, snowflake. 1 pick and 128 to 34 points against will get you 1 point, as we learned with the Broncos D earlier in the broadcast. So he played Tillman like I did, who also lucked out with a TD. He stacked Trevor Lawrence, not just with BTJ, but also Brenton Strange. Because when you have the chance to play Brenton Strange on DraftKings.com, when Harold Fannin is out there, you just got to do it. Lovely, lovely shit from you, Charlie. I love to see it. Please keep bringing me your money week to week. The Venmo money that when it comes in, it really does make my day, so I really appreciate that. Crippy Mike, always down at the bottom as always, right where he belongs. Played some sort of Galbrain shitter lineup with a bunch of stud wideouts in Dynasty, but not necessarily the right play in DraftKings. He played CD and Puka. They did well. What happened to the rest of his team? I don't know. He played Hurts. Didn't work out. Dylan Sampson and Zach Charbonnet at running back, and I wonder why he lost. Yeah, Sam, you might need a DFS coach if you think those are good DraftKings plays. There's a little word called volume you might want to look up in the dictionary. We got Token down here at 105. Said he wanted to bet me, but quote-unquote forgot. A lot of people forget shit when it has to do with dealing with me in fantasy. So, you know, they forget to accept my trade offer. Or they forget to, oh, yeah, I was going to bet you, but I forgot. I forgot to text you. Until Token, he texted me at like 12:02, and he was like, glad we didn't bet. I'm like, damn, you already know you lost? So yeah, basically Token just played a worse version of my team with Cortland Sutton and Grant Calcaterra. So congrats on that, Token, and congrats on not having to pay me. Andy, another L, and another Venmo to me. Joe Burrow, that's unfortunate. Hate to see it. Trey Benson, I mean, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. I like Trey Benson too, but again, you're second week in a row, Jandy tries to fucking Galbrain his lineup and play Trey fucking Benson, dude. This is DraftKings. You don't play guys that don't get the ball. It's really that simple. Like, you don't have to make it. You're making it way too complicated, dude. He's got some chalk. He listened to me on CMC, so I guess my argument got through there. So hashtag you're welcome for the CMC play. Hollywood Brown, bad chalk. Jamar Chase went off. Didn't matter because nobody else did anything. Played Zay Flowers. He didn't score, so he didn't score. Panthers D. Scored about what you would expect them to. Let's go to Joseph Euler. And again, thank you, Joseph, for the Venmo. Or actually, for me not having to Venmo you for the contest. Because if you don't know, folks, me and Joe have a weekly contest bet, and I hardly ever pay for the weekly contest because Joe just loses the $20 to me. We got Josh Allen, Snowflake. Probably the first time Josh Allen's. I mean, that's just funny because the 1 week Joe plays Josh Allen, of all people, who's probably the first snowflake he's ever had. Sorry about that, Joe. CMC, so Jandy got together and they were like, fuck, Kyle was right about CMC. We got to play him this week. That's what they whispered into each other's ear in bed at night. Chase Brown, bad chalk. Hollywood Brown, bad chalk. Listen to the people telling him to play him. Amon-Ra, great hit. But the rest of your team was a blizzard. Khalil Shakir, 2.2 snowflake. Harold Fannin, everybody played him. Keon Coleman, 5.6 snowflake. So 5 snowflakes on your team equals an L and equals having to pay people out without Kyle contributing. Johnny O'Connor, isn't it weird, folks, how we saw it last week and we see it again this week. Like Joe and Andy, only one person separating them. And then this week, Johnny and Jack next to each other. It seems like they're always next to each other in the standings. I'm starting to see the pattern. And this is where Connor, because you were asking me to speculate on who has a guy. I think what we have here is immediate families going in on guys together, and they share a guy, and they don't tell the guy that they're giving away the picks, because that's against the rules. If anybody who's had a guy will tell you, I've spoken to people who've had them, and that's against the rules to share your lineup with other people, because those are potential customers. But what they're doing is they're sharing picks in the immediate family. And what they may do is kind of like, maybe they have like a little family fantasy draft, where it's like, okay, our guy gave us his top 24, and then they do a fantasy draft so that they don't play, because it'd be too obvious if they played the same guy or the same lineup from their guy every week. So what they do is just like, ooh, you know what? Let's see, Johnny goes, I really like Josh Allen this week. And then Jack goes, oh, really? That's cool, because I like Lamar Jackson this week. And it's like, ooh, look, we both got really good quarterbacks. That's what I think happened. A little father-son moment. It's adorable. I like it. Johnny got the short end of that stick. Josh Allen, the very rare snowflake. He played A-Chain as one would properly do, who had a DFS mind. Again, if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, look up the word volume. That's all you need. Chase Brown, bad chalk. Puka, JSN. You know what? The lineups are starting to look better. We got some flames going, but it wasn't enough to melt the snow. Elik Ayomanor, got lucky on a TD. Never mind, he's awesome. I have him in DUSD. Let's see, Jason, Kyron Williams, Snowflake. Good, not great, wasn't enough. Needed more from the QB. Shouldn't have played Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson, we're on to Jack's lineup now. Lamar, Jahmyr Gibbs, A-Chain, JSN, Olave, Ridley. Yeah, see, this is where we started to go wayward. We started out so hot. So we got Lamar Jackson, Gibbs, A-Chain, JSN, beautiful, looking great. I played Gibbs and A-Chain at running back as well. I love it. The fact that, that's run bad for Detroit to score 52 points and Gibbs only gets 19. Not as bad as Baltimore scoring 41 and Derrick Henry getting like 2 points, but still. For Gibbs to only get 19 was a little bit of run bad there, but we got pretty good start, and then Olave, Calvin Ridley. Ugh, I don't know about that. Calvin Ridley with a rookie quarterback and already not good. Don't know how that fit in. Probably did his father's old trick of just playing whoever fit in to the lineup with his remaining $4,900 because he just had to play the Cowboys defense for $3,000. $3,000, folks, with no pass rush and no secondary and no coaching. Cowboys defense, 1 point, of course. We know what happened in that game. Not sure where that came from exactly. I think what happened is that he kind of started off good and then just LEL'd the rest of the lineup. I mean, it really does. It's like a top half and a bottom half, and it's like I chalk this up to pure laziness. He texted me. He was definitely a little shook for me calling him out last week for having an AI lineup because, I mean, he realized he had been caught and he wasn't fooling anybody. And you can tell he tried to build his lineup on his own this week and didn't work out too well. You should probably just stick to AI, Jack. I'll skim over Mobley's. He played T-Law, James Conner. Ugh. I don't know. David Montgomery, God. I know that's a Mobley guy for sure. He's playing the Mobley guys, but yeah, I don't even know how he finished ahead of, I guess just Jamar Chase helped him finish ahead of Jack. And we come back around to my lineup. Beautiful lineup as long as I didn't play Fields, would have gotten second, but really love my running back plays. Any week you can play CMC, A-Chain, and Gibbs and still have money left to play Puka is a beautiful week. It was an easy week to build a lineup, which makes JFIM's even more embarrassing. 79 points. Everybody make sure to send him a text and let him know that you saw he scored 79 on one of the easiest weeks to build a lineup in DraftKings history, in my experience. Congrats to Soenser. Excellent team. Again, can't say anything bad about it. And I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm going to get up. We're going to say hi to AJ, and then we're done. Thank you, and see you next week. Oh wait, I was supposed to talk about Chris's team. We'll do that while we're